everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'm doing a little chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to do my hair, I'm going to do my makeup. We're going to talk about starting your own business, becoming an influencer, earning your money online, like having babies, the whole shebang. So if you want to go ahead and, keep on watching, then you'll see me barefaced in a second. Okay, so take number 16 at this point. I don't even know. I just keep messing it up. Basically, I have these little lights on my makeup stand that I had on, and I filmed me doing like half of my hair because I'm curling it and I'm in the process of it, as you can see. But the lights kept interfering with the camera apparently, so when I watched it back, I could kind of see in the viewfinder that it wasn't looking smooth, and then I watched it back and I could see like the lights flashing basically. So I guess I'll show you how I do like the rest of my hair. Because I can't use the first part of the footage. So I'm going to start with curling my hair, and I'm just going to time-lapse it because otherwise this Q&A will be super long and I want to talk while I'm doing my makeup. But I picked myself up a coffee based on your recommendations. So I got the cold brew latte with coconut milk and sugar-free hazelnut syrup, and I love it. And I'm going to drink the rest of it because your girl is tired, because I've been trying to film this video the entire day and it's now 2, so cheers. Now, but I asked for your recommendations when it comes to coffee because I only drink like basic stuff. I don't know anything about coffee, and I've been trying all your recommendations, so I love them so far, and this one is really nice with the sugar-free hazelnut syrup. So I'm going to continue to do the rest of my hair. Basically, I put in a mousse, then I put in heat protector, and then I'm going to curl the rest. Alrighty, so finished with the hair. I guess I went for a messy, but it took me a pretty long time to get it this far kind of look. Not sure. Never use a curling iron, as you can probably tell, and I think I'll stick to my Arab from now on. But yeah, guess it is what we're working with today. But let's move on to makeup, and I'm really excited for it. And as I said, I put up a Q&A on my main Instagram at GAINSBYBRAINS and on my spam account at SpammySoph, and I got a lot of really fun questions. So let's dive in to the first question while I'm applying my Flawless filter in 4.5, which is my foundation. Okay, so basically the main question that I got has everything to do with what I'm currently doing and what I've done before. So I got questions about whether I studied, what I studied, what my job was before YouTube, what I'm doing now, like everything. So I thought, let's tell you my story, because I don't think I've ever told my story before. And it's quite the story. So yeah, let's dive right into it, and let's start at the beginning, or like kind of the beginning, I guess. So I've done my master's in marketing management and marketing intelligence. And in the Netherlands, when you're doing a master, it gets paid for partially by the government. So you pay tuition fee, which is not the full amount of what the tuition fee is, I guess. But this is only when you do one master, so they'll pay for one education, if that makes sense. Unless you do 2 at the same time. So what I did was, while I was doing my master's in marketing management and marketing intelligence, I also applied for a master's in entrepreneurship because my boyfriend Ruben, he has always been the one to be interested in starting your own business, and I guess I kind of got in the flow of that as well. So a few things happened in my life where I was like, I'm not sure if I see myself doing like a traditional 9-to-5, working for someone else. Maybe I want to start my own business. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a master in it, basically. So I applied for my second master while I was doing the first. just so that I didn't have to pay the full tuition fee, because I think the tuition fee in the Netherlands was like 2,000 euros a year. But then if you don't get it funded partially by the government, it will be like 5 figures, I think, like 10k maybe, I don't know, a year. So a big difference, very expensive. So I was like, I'll apply for my second master's degree while I'm doing my first one, and that way I can get both for like a better amount. And the reason why I didn't do the entrepreneurial master at the first time round is because I didn't really know at that time that that was something I was interested in. So while I was doing my master's degree, so marketing management, my first master, I watched so much YouTube videos about fitness, and I really fell in love with weightlifting, and it became my passion, and I dedicated my entire life basically to it, just to like figuring everything out. And I got my personal training certificate while I was doing my master, and I just loved it. And then Ruben was the one who was like, oh, but why don't you start like your own channel? At the time there weren't a lot of girls who were like explaining everything behind fitness, which is something that I was really interested in and I absolutely loved to like do research and stuff in my free time. So he was like, start your own channel, like you always watch people do it, why don't you do it yourself? So I started my own channel. We came up with the idea of Gains by Brains, really helping girls to fall in love with fitness and knowing what they're doing to get results and just to explain everything. So then we got started with that while I was doing my master. And then it was time for me to start with my second master because I finished the first one. And then we were both like, you know what, like we've started this channel, like I really enjoy it. He was doing everything behind the scenes, behind the camera, like trying to figure out how camera works and just trying to be better at what we're doing. And in the meantime, I was trying to become better at being in front of the camera, like making YouTube videos about specific topics, like writing them, learning the text on top of my head, and like trying to record it. If you watch my first videos back, you'll see that I'm so like static. That is because I learned the text and then I kind of like presented it. That was like the idea, I guess, behind my video. But basically I finished my master and we were both like, maybe this could like actually work. We were kind of generating some like traffic, I guess, on our social media pages, and we were just like, maybe this could actually be a thing, you know, maybe we could turn this into like our actual business. Like how amazing would that be to turn your passion into your work, basically. And as I said, Ruben was always interested in like the entrepreneurial side of things, so we could kind of do this together, which was really fun as well. So then my second master, I guess, came around and I had to enroll for classes. And then I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't enroll for classes. Maybe I should just take this year to fully dedicate everything to Gains by Brains, to my social medias, and try to make it work. Also in the Netherlands, while you are a student, you can apply for a loan, which is basically, I mean, it is debt that you will get, obviously, but there is like 0 interest, or like, this is not financial advice, obviously, but basically what I did, I was like, okay, you know what? I'll apply for my second master. I'll pay the tuition fee, which isn't as much since I already started my second master while I was doing my first one. And then I'll get the loan, and then I can kind of pay my expenses based on my loan. So that's how I cover like half of the expenses. And then everything that we have left, we can invest into our business. So we basically gave ourselves a year to go all in. I guess I have to bleep that out, but that's what we did. We gave ourselves a year, didn't tell anyone, so no one knew that we were doing this. Everyone thought that we were just going to school. And I guess if you've been like studying for, I don't know, like 5 years, like no one really cares about your 6th year anymore, I guess, or at least that was the case with us. So no one knew, I guess, besides the people that found us on social media. And we gave ourselves a year to make it work. I'm currently paying off. I have 30 years for it, so it's not like, it was a good investment, okay? It was a positive ROI. And then during that year, we got our sponsorship deals with Gymshark and with Women's Best. So that kind of allowed us to continue with our job. I really believe in energy. So for me, when you are able to, I guess, cancel all the outside noise and you can just fully focus on what you want to focus on, and you only have positive vibes and people that believe in you, I think that's the perfect environment for you to thrive. And that's the reason, I guess, why we didn't tell anyone, but probably also because there is a part of you that is like, but what if it doesn't work out, you know? So if you don't tell anyone, you can just do whatever, like, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm not saying that's the way to go for everyone, but it definitely worked for us. And I just applied my concealer in 3 Neutral, and it's actually the Airbrush Flawless Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. After that year, we were able to like live from it, but it wasn't anything like big, you know what I mean? So we were filming in the gyms in the Netherlands, but this was like years ago. So filming and making content wasn't really a thing back then. So we were filming in the gym, or trying to at least, but it was actually really hard. So there were people in the gym that were trying to not really use us, but not everyone you meet has the right intention. So when we started to get like a following, people were, I guess, trying to use us being young and naive, and it was like, there were a few difficult situations, and then we were like, we don't really want to film in the gym. It's hard, like, people want to get us in their apps, and there were just a lot of situations that weren't really ideal. Then we were like, how can we fix this? The only way we can fix this is by having our own gym, because then no one can tell us what to do or what not to do. So that's when we were like, okay, how can we make our own gym? Gym equipment is really expensive. Obviously we could save up for it, but then you still need to have like an environment where you can put your gym in. And getting a gym is like a one-time expense. So if you have the money, you can pay for your gym equipment and that's it. But if you need to rent a place for you to put your gym in, then you have another financial obligation on like a monthly period. So that was hard for us. So we were like, maybe we just have to look for a place where we can live and put the gym in at the same time, because then we only have our rent, so it won't be like an extra expense. So we were looking around for like places in the middle of nowhere. We were just looking at all the options that there possibly are. And then we found, I guess it was like a shop, or it used to be a shop, and then they renovated it to be 5 different apartments. But because it was a shop previously, it had like this huge living room. So it was basically a studio apartment with a huge living room. I think the living room was like 100 square meters, just an open space, like a square. There was nothing in it. And then you had like a really small kitchen. You had like half of a wall, and then you could put your bed like behind it. And then in the back of the apartment, you had like a really small bathroom. So we were like, that's kind of perfect, because in the really big living room, we could put a gym. So that's what we did. So then basically we had a gym in our living room where we could always film, and there were no people that could like try to benefit from us, or I don't know, it was just the best solution at the time. That worked for a little while, but obviously that was quite hard for your work-life balance, because we didn't have a living room. Like, our living room was our gym. So that kind of messes with you, even though you want to give it your best effort and you want to work 24/7, that's kind of toxic. We started creating our own guides, and that was really fun. Like, we love making our own guides. And then because of that, and because our social kept growing, we were eventually able to rent an external place to put our gym in. So we found this garage, and that was perfect. We could put our gym in it. It was quite close to our house, so that's what we rented. We moved the gym, and now we didn't have the gym in our living room anymore, which was great. But then we ended up with an apartment which was like huge, but like empty, because we didn't have furniture, so we had to buy furniture. But then you have a living room that's just like an open square of 100 square meters. with nothing. Like there was no coziness, there was no vibe. It used to be a gym. Then I was like, well, I mean, maybe we could move now, because first of all, I don't need this space. Like it's way too big, but also it doesn't feel like homey at all, because we got it with the intention of having a gym there, and now the gym is gone. So, okay, that was fine. Oh, by the way, I'm forgetting that I'm doing a Get Ready With Me as well. I'm using the Cheek to Chic Ecstasy from Charlotte Tilbury, a blush, and I use the bronzer in number 2. So after a while, we started looking for different apartments, and then we found an apartment in Amsterdam, because we were like, we really wanted to live in Amsterdam, because we weren't living in Amsterdam, we were living very close to Germany, like basically at the opposite end of the Netherlands, and there just wasn't so much to do, I guess, as there is in Amsterdam. So we were looking at apartments in Amsterdam, and then we found the apartment that you've seen in my vlogs with the white furniture, I guess. We loved it, we applied for it, we got it, and then we moved in there. Then we had our gym being 1.5 hours away from us. So we were like, okay, let's find an office space in Amsterdam. We could like make our team bigger, hire more people, and then have our gym in that office space as well. So while we were looking for an office space in Amsterdam, the lockdown happened. So then we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Because offices needed to be closed. Like we didn't know how this would go. It's probably not the best time to open an office, you know what I mean? But we already moved, and we had our gym at the other end of the Netherlands, so that wasn't ideal either. So then we were like, we could rent like a garage again to just have our gym in, but that didn't really feel like making progress. It just felt like staying at the same step, and we like to continue to expand and to grow our business. We thought about it a lot, and then we were like, okay, you know what? We always said that we wanted to go to Spain. It's always been our dream, just to like see how it is. Now that there's a lockdown, now that we need to move our gym, maybe we can go ahead and go to Spain, live there for 6 months, a year. So we lived there for 6 months in, I think it was 2020, and then 6 months in 2021, for 1 year in total. See how it is. Like, do we love it? Do we want to stay there? Do we actually want to move everything over there? Like, how is it? We don't know. You only know if you go. Then we were like, okay, it's not the best time to open an office. Maybe this is a sign from the universe to just try to go to Spain and see how it is. So that's what we did, and then we ended up in Spain. As you know, we actually took our gym with us to Spain, because we were like, maybe we'll have the same issue with filming. We were in Spain. Spain was really nice. I love it there. It is like beautiful. But we also realized that if we really want to build our business, if we really want to hire more people, we need to be in Amsterdam, because our roots are in Amsterdam, our business is in Amsterdam. Everything just makes more sense for us to be in Amsterdam. Here with the lockdown, everything was closed down, and there everything was open inside of the community, so that was like a little bit easier. That's something that we learned, but we were also like, okay, let's go back to Amsterdam, and let's focus on growing and building our business. So that's what we did, learned a lot. We're back. We decided to move because we often were in a different part of Amsterdam than where we were located, and we wanted to lower our commute, like travel time. So it only made sense for us to move, so that's why we moved again when we were back in Amsterdam. But one thing that we also learned is that we don't need our gym. It is in storage now in the Netherlands, so it's still ours, but we don't actually want to open up like our own gym anymore, because things changed. It is easier now to film in the gym. I love being in an environment where other people are training as well. It really motivates me, so that was all taken care of. Another question that I got often was what our plans are with the app. So I kind of like dropped it here and there. But yeah, when we were in Spain, we really said to each other, we really want to make an app. As you know, I'm doing the guides now, and I love like making all the information. Like, I can put my heart and soul into my guides, and I really do. The different workout schedules, different routines, and then the recipes, I love it. But the goal is obviously for us to launch an app, because it's not as expensive as the guide, because the guide is like a one-time payment. Obviously the app will be a subscription, but it's lower per month, so that's probably easier for more people. And you can obviously add a lot of features that you can't with a guide. So that's really our goal, and we were like, okay, we'll go back to Amsterdam, we'll settle down here, and we'll focus on making our own app. Now, when it comes to making an app, there are so many choices that you have to make that you don't really think about when you are like not the one who is making the app. But basically, there are a few ways to go about it. So first of all, an app is very, very expensive to make. And when I say very expensive to make, I mean like very expensive to make, okay? So what you can do is you can partner with a company who makes apps frequently for a lot of different people, and then they like make the app for you, obviously in like collaboration with you, and then they'll handle the back end, and you basically pay them a fee, or like a fixed percentage of all your subscriptions. That's what you pay them, and then they'll like keep the app like up and running, and they'll do the initial investment for you. Another option is that you work with investors. So people who are like, okay, you want to make your own app, like I believe in you, I trust you, I want to invest in it. They'll give you money, and then you can use that money to build your app. That's all fine. Or third option, there are probably more, but like 3 main options. Third option is that you do everything yourself and that you pay for it yourself. We spend so much time and effort and love and sacrifice into building this community that we really want to make sure that we have all the control all the time when we make something big. So for us, it was quite easy. We were like, okay, we really want to do it ourselves. And when I say we want to do it ourselves, we want to fully do it ourselves. Because even if you have investors, there will still be people that have like a saying, I guess, in what you're doing, because they will benefit from certain things, you know. And I just love being able to make all the decisions myself. For example, with the free guide. So every Sunday I launch a free guide based on my Train with GAINSBYBRAINS channel, like a follow along channel. And I do that for free. Like I don't earn anything from it. It costs me money because I let the guides, like I design the guides, not me, but I pay someone to design the guides. I pay someone to keep the guides up to date with the workout schedules. I pay the mailing list. So there is a lot of like investments, I guess, that you make, but I can decide for it myself, or Ruben and I can decide for it ourselves, because we're the only ones like invested in this. And I love that. And like there's nothing wrong with having investors. There are so many benefits from not doing everything yourself. Main thing is time, like it will save you a lot of time. Plus people can be very knowledgeable. You can have really good investors, for example, who can really help you a lot. That's all good. But for us, it was like, no, we really want to do it ourselves. We spend so much time building this community. Like I want to be able to do whatever I want, even if it's not the financially best solution. For example, sending out the free guides. And yes, obviously, even when you're sending out free guides, like you'll build your brand, you'll build your community. So there are obviously like indirect benefits, but still being able to say like, hey, I want to do this for free, or I want to like spend money to do it. That's something that's really valuable to me. So we were like, okay, we'll pay for it ourselves. We'll do everything ourselves. Like we'll pay a company to build the app, because obviously we can't like build an app ourselves. And we'll actually pay for it by selling our guides. So that's why we're still in the process of developing guides, because then we can save up to like pay for the app. So if you want to see an app, then go get my guide. Link in bio. Link in description box, I mean. No, but that's like our game plan. So currently where we are in the process, designers are designing a mood board for the app, and we made a list with all the features that we want in the app eventually. I think they're not really even, but it's fine. But yeah, we made a list with what we want to have in the app eventually, all the features, so we can go to the company. We already know the company we want to work with, show them our vision, our mission, and then have the conversation with them to see if they can actually build it, if they have a good feeling. It's about feeling for me. If they think they can do it, if we like working with them, etc. And then we can put our own customer service team on the app and just make everything completely our own. And I'm so excited for it. But it's a big project, a lot of responsibilities, so cheers. But yeah, it just makes more sense for us to be in Amsterdam, settle down and have tunnel vision on our goals, because otherwise with such a big project you can't really get it moving. So then another question that I got quite frequently is whether we are hiring. This turns into like a business get ready with me. But yeah, so the person that I'm looking for, like the person that I want to hire next, will be my right hand. But that's a really, really tough call, because the person that I'm looking for, that's an A-list player, if you know what I mean. So that's someone who, first of all, has to be Dutch, or at least live in the Netherlands, because I have to have you by my side. Like, you have to be able to be there with me during everything. If I have a shoot, if I have a meeting, like, I want you to be there with me. I prefer it if the person is Dutch, just because, for example, with my management and stuff, I have a lot of contacts that are Dutch or based in the Netherlands, so it just makes more sense to have someone who is Dutch. And even though I am, like, I guess I'm fluent in English, it's still sometimes easier to talk to someone in your own language, because if you make a joke or whatever, it's the little things that sometimes it just makes your life easier. That's the first thing. Has to live in the Netherlands, has to be able to be there with me whenever I need to, has to be on the same sleeping schedule, has to be super proactive. Like, I want her, I say her because I feel like it should be a girl, I want her to be thinking about stuff I haven't even thought about yet. I want her to be able to be good in writing, be good on the phone, doesn't feel scared to call. I want her to pick up the phone, to take care of things. She needs to be social, she needs to be a boss, she needs to be able to deal with authority, because obviously she's my right hand, so if I say something to her, ask her to do something, like, she shouldn't hate me for it. And has to be, like, basically available 24/7. I'm not asking everything of her 24/7, but that's the vibe that I wanna, you know? I need my right hand, like the person who is there, who has my best interest, who takes care of her shit, who gets stuff done, and who can speak, talk, and be there on my behalf. So that's a tough job to find. If you know someone, let me know, because I don't know how to find her, but I need her in my life. And it's obviously a paid position, like, obviously. That's the first person that I want to hire next. Okay, so I just applied mascara. I forgot to do my brows, so I'll do my brows now. But I actually wanted to talk about something else as well. And that is making friends when you are either older or when you have, like, a certain job, maybe with certain benefits, or what, I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk about. I find it really hard to make friends now that I'm older, obviously, but I guess also with my job, because I feel like people often try to get in touch with you because of certain reasons, maybe because they think they can earn more money because of you, because you have a platform. I don't know, like, a lot of people don't really have your best interest, and therefore it can be quite hard to, like, open up, especially when you're older, and make new friends. But that being said, I am so grateful because I met Rianne Meijer. I can't pronounce her name in English. I met Rianne Meijer a few months ago, I don't really even know when, and she showed me that you can meet people when you're older that have your best interest. And I don't, like, speak with her too often, obviously. She's very busy, I'm very busy, but she really showed me that good people are still out there. My camera died, but I did my brows in the meantime. But yeah, basically, What I was trying to say is that, especially when you're older, just try to say yes to more things where you would normally say no to. Get yourself out there. Try give people the benefit of the doubt at the beginning, but still, I always keep my guard up. See what their true intentions are, and then hopefully you'll find someone that you really connect with. Another question that I got quite frequently is tips on starting your own channel, making money, doing YouTube, doing social media. I would say become obsessed, study it, live it, breathe it. If you really want to go for it, dedicate yourself to it, make it your life mission, think about it, dream about it, work for it, sacrifice stuff. And yes, there are people who like blow up overnight and who get really lucky, but that's not something that you can count on. So you probably have to put in the work. And if you're good at something, then double down on what you're good at. For example, I feel like I'm better with video than I am with photo. So if you look at my Instagram, it's video. And that is because I always like triple down on what I'm good at, and then instead of like, I guess, trying to become better in what I'm like bad at, because I don't want to be mediocre. I would much rather be really good at something and then kind of like suck at something else, if that makes sense. Okay, so then the final question is whether I want to have babies. I don't think so, no. So I love watching vlogs of people with like babies and how they like do their morning routine and how they live their life, and I just love it so much. I think it's so interesting, and it's so not for me, I think. I love not having the responsibility of having another person like depend on you, trying to learn them everything in life, trying to set them up for success. Like, it's a huge responsibility. Like, not even just keeping them alive, but making sure that they can thrive in their own life because they didn't make the decision to be here, I guess. That's a huge responsibility, and I'm not sure if I'm like ready for it, I guess. And then another thing that has a huge component in me, I guess, gravitating towards not wanting to have kids, and luckily Ruben is the same, is that I think the world is it's not always the best place, you know what I mean, with everything that's going on, and I'm not sure if I want to bring my kid into this world. So yeah, obviously not sure, things might change in the future, but I have my dog and I love my dog, she's my life, and she is already a hard one to take care of. So yeah, I think that's what I'm ending this Q&A with. I'm ready now. I'll put all the details of everything that I used in the description because I know that I really haven't said anything about my makeup. And it is 3. So cheers to that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to listening to the story if you made it so far. I really appreciate it. I've never told my story on camera before, so yeah, thank you for listening. I truly appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.